Right, tonight's game here on Fox is going to be produced by the Amazon Thursday Night Football crew. How about big 6'7" Andrew Whitworth, 16-year NFL career with the Cincinnati Bengals and LA Rams, part of the pregame halftime show on Amazon, and he is standing by right now with our Cassie Carlson.
Andrew Whitworth, we appreciate your time and joining us for our pregame show. Let's start with a position you know very well, the offensive line, which for the Bears has struggled all season long. As you look at the front five guys, what have been the root of their issues?
Well, I think throughout the year you look at it, it's been a mixture of things. Obviously having some guys stay healthy, and then, you're playing with a rookie quarterback. A lot of times it's up and down. I mean, I've done that multiple times in my career, and, those years, it's a learning process for him, but it's also for you. I mean, you learn where that guy's going to be in the pocket, whether he likes to keep the ball or he doesn't. You're kind of developing a relationship, if you will, of how you kind of, hold on to your blocks and then also figure out really the timing and rhythm that quarterback plays in. So there's always going to be some version of that. Now, for them, unfortunately, it's been not probably the year they all want. It's a collective group, and then also with Caleb probably holding the ball some too. So, but they'll grow together, and hey, this is why it's the NFL. It's always a process.
How do you evaluate Caleb Williams' rookie season so far?
Well, I think there's obviously you see the talent and things people fall in love with, but you also see some of the things that people were worried about, and it's just the consistency of every day developing that trait that, obviously does he have these things that stick out on tape that wow you? Yes, but what's your daily process of how you get better every single day and where you're always looking to grow? I mean, I've always said this my whole career. When I was a rookie back in 2006, I had an offensive line coach that said, be like a tree, either grow or you die, and that's the reality in the NFL. Until I was 40 years old and playing in the Super Bowl, every single day was what can I be better at, what can I figure out, how to clean up my footwork, my technique, everything I do. And so for Caleb, it's going to be those little things, which to me is great because it's not a talent thing, it's not an ability thing. It's a, hey, you know what, how much are you willing to pour into this? How great do you want to be, and how much attention to detail will you give your daily process every single day, which I think I look forward to seeing how that goes.
And I think a lot of that too will depend on who they hire as the next head coach. As you look at the list of guys who are on the table right now, Pete Carroll, former head coach of your coworker, and Richard Sherman, what do you think would be a good pairing for Caleb Williams and the Bears?
Well, I think you've seen now here recently, right, in the NFL, the fad is these young offensive play callers that have had some success, whether it be in McVay or Shanahan and that kind of style and system. And then you've seen some veteran leaders. You see guys that the old school guys like a Mike Tomlin that still exist, still see them have success. John Harbaugh, some of those guys, and then Jim Harbaugh obviously comes in with his physical mentality, identity type team. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it really has to do with the Bears knowing their quarterback, because obviously this is your most important investment. It's what this entire thing is going to be built around. What's going to serve him best? Is that a Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll type guy who maybe is going to handle one side of the ball and then be the guy to help him mature and grow as a human being, and then really find the right person to match him up with? Is that a former NFL quarterback like a Josh McCown that's in Minnesota to come here and be his OC, or somewhere along that line? Or is that go get the Ben Johnson, go get the guy who already has a system, but now he's got to figure out the other side of the ball? And so they really got to know what's the identity they're looking for their football team, and then also what serves their quarterback the best for him to be successful.
It's been quite an interesting season for the Chicago Bears because there were such high expectations when we started the season here at Soldier Field to now being on a 9-game losing streak. As a former player, how much do these streaks weigh on a team and a locker room?
A lot. I mean, in Cincinnati, I had multiple seasons that we had this happen, and 2010, one that sticks out in my mind. We lost 10 in a row, and it's just draining on you as a human being and as a professional athlete. You want to be your best. You want to give fans what they want, a win. You want to give your teammates a win, your families. It just takes the stress off of everybody. So it's a struggle, but the reality is it's the job we sign up for, and you got to fall in love with the process to be successful in this game. And so this football team is going to be able to use this as a learning lesson, because both years I had that happen to me in 2008 and 2010 as a Cincinnati Bengal. The next year we made the playoffs, and we were a successful team because we built off of that strength that we developed going through hard times and adversity, because that's really where you find out who you are. And so I think it'll be fun to see this team respond. How do you respond these next 2 weeks? And then next year, what's the process for how you respond day one, out the gate, week one, of who this football team is going to be?
And do you still look at this roster and feel like they're not that far away?
I do. I think that really you look at it, the only thing probably in my world world, they're a little built outside in the sense that, you know, you got skill players, you got those things, but where is the investment inside? Like, you look at the most successful offenses in the NFL right now, their investment in their interior three, whether it be draft picks, money, everything else is really up there at some of the top. And so you want to be good in this league right now. It sure shows out. If you look at the best teams in the NFL, they're built in the trenches. Their offensive lines are good and their defensive lines are good, and that's where you have to be built. And sometimes the shiny toys look good, but they don't win football games. And so if you want to win, you got to build yourself from the inside out.
All right, Andrew, I appreciate your time and happy holidays.